Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for joining me. So, a year in with the TRF. So, 1 year in with the Triumph Tenere. Oh man. This is Biking Buddies, the motor vlog. It's 2024 and that means it's the first of the year. So I hope this coming year is very good for all of us, both on and of course both off the bike as well. So this being a motor vlog and it being Biking Buddies in fine fashion, grab yourself a brew, leave the beers at home, it's dry January, and come with me on this week's Biking Buddies motor vlog. Let's roll VT.
Where do you go when you're young, when you're restless, when you're fun, cause you're desperate? Oh, here they come for a chance, for adventure. What's your poison, what's your pleasure?
Okay, so that is the titles out of the way, as you have well seen. Now let me explain what I'm up to in this opener of 2024. Well, very simply, I'm up in the Yorkshire Dales. It's the first one of the new year, so as I said there in the intro, all the very best to you. I hope it's a good year for everybody. And yeah, it's a little bit late in the making this video. We're pretty much coming up towards mid part of January. I've been man down with the flu, so to speak, as far as the video making's concerned, so I do apologise for croaky voices, sniffs, sneezes and coughs, etc. But I'll do my level best. Incidentally, it is exactly 1 year, almost to the day from the release of this video, that I published the first video of the T7. So yes, the Yamaha Tenere 700, I've had it for exactly 1 year now. And as we go through this video, I'll just be dropping in and out and just giving you a couple of little bits of what I've liked about the bike, what I dislike about the bike. Would I change the bike? Is the bike a keeper? Well, let's find out as we go through this video, eh? So yes, here we are up at the beautiful Redmire. It's a little bit of a murky day. One thing that it definitely is today, that you guys won't be able to see on camera, is it is desperately cold. 4 degrees is the high, and yes, it certainly feels that way. So we have got handlebar muffs, or handlebar pogies as I like to refer to them. They are firmly on and heated grips are on as well, which does incidentally enable me to ride with summer gloves, so I have all that tactile feel of thinner gloves whilst having toasty warm hands as well. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to work my way across the Yorkshire Dales, see how I go with the weather. We've got intermittent drizzle and sunny spells, as you can see from the forecast or from the cloud cover around us. It's a little bit of a mixed bag. I'm flying solo today by choice. So, yes, keep that brew in hand, put the beers down, it's dry January, or at least for the time being. And yeah, let's get stuck into this video and see what the Yorkshire Dales has to offer in the early part of January. Wows as well, that sees us off the top. So one thing that today is very definitely going to show me is we're going to be dodging the showers. And I don't know whether you can see there over on the fell side, just as we approach this farmstead, that yeah, there's quite a lot of cloud kicking around, but there's also a lot of broken cloud and blue skies abound. So yeah, it does bode quite well. So let's pick up this little trail. This one's going to be very slippy. I am desperately hoping we don't meet anybody. Considerably less overgrown than the last time I came. And what's going to be interesting is, incidentally, I have never ran this trail this way around. I've always come the opposite direction. It's going to be interesting if I do meet anybody. It is incredibly tight. I don't know if you're watching this, Pete, but this is the one that you came down, buddy. Hippodrome's Pete. We were just forging our way through the undergrowth. This is so muddy and so slippy. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valour, and you just got to paddle your way through, especially when you're on a big old heavy bike. I'm starting to think, why did I come down here on my own? Slippy tree roots, look. There we go. Now we should be able to get stood back up. Wowzers, so forgive me for being out of breath a little bit. I'm sure that's just the remnants of the flu. So here we are. This is what we're talking about, the Thorsby Lane mud. Got to be very, very careful. Look how slippy that is. And there's the old T7 just slip-slopping its way through. And whilst the tyres are very, very good, they are 50-50 tyres. And let's just take a look at this rear tyre. Given that this is half-life, obviously I can spin that up and flick it out, but it just doesn't clear half as much as you'd like it to, particularly if it was a little bit more of an off-road orientated tyre. And straight away, yeah, just wheel spin straight up, bikes all over the place. But it's good fun, and it's also good just to push yourself. Are you going to stay there? No. Yeah, it's also good just to push yourself just that little bit. Right, there's a bit of a rock or a firmer bit over there. Let's see if I can get over there. Bike is just completely sideways. Right. Right, let me get this sorted and I'll get the gate. Cheers, buddy! He knew me? Look at the mud. Wowzers. This shows you on a dirt bike just how slippy it actually is, let alone on a big adventure bike. Really struggling there. Let me pin the gate back there. Good, good. Yay. Nice one. Right, there we go. So I'll get this gate and we'll get ourselves on our way. Okay then, so that's Thorsby Lane out the way. Let me get the visor down so you can hear me. Just a little interlude between these drizzly showers, but no matter. So, 1 year in with the Yamaha Tenere, and what do I think of the bike? Well, to put it into context, would I have tried Thorsby Lane a year ago on this bike? Hell no, absolutely not. So yes, it's been a journey of discovery and learning with the T7, and I've absolutely loved every minute of it. Do I like the bike? Would I replace the bike? Very, very difficult one. In terms of do I like the bike? Yes, absolutely. I love the bike. I think it's fantastic. It does everything that I wanted it to do. Would I be more capable off-road on an enduro style bike like a KTM or a Yamaha, like a 250, 350 or something like that? Yeah, I probably would be. I mean, you'll never know until you ride one, of course. But the problem is with that type of bike and the type of riding that I want to do is that does then permit me from doing more of the touring aspect, and that's very much why I bought the T7, was so that I could stick the panniers on the back, stick a tent on the back and disappear off down to Wales or up to Scotland or further afield, who knows. And that's very much something that I'm hoping to do or planning to do this year in 2024. So yeah, keep your eye out on the channel for that one. And as I say there, if I'd have bought an enduro bike, then that aspect would not be open to me, not by any stretch of the imagination. Do I like the bike off-road? Well, yes, I love it. I'm no Paul Tarras. Obviously, you guys that follow me on the channel, it does tend to be fairly steady away type stuff, but at the end of the day, I want to go out, I want to enjoy it, I want to enjoy this beautiful scenery that we've got, and I want to know that I'm going to come back safe and well, even if I do have that little bit of an itch that I think, oh, I wish I'd just pushed myself that little bit harder or that little bit further. It is good and healthy to push yourself outside your comfort zone, and I do believe last year that I did that with this bike, and I'm hoping to capitalize on that again this year, but all in incremental steps. I think if you just throw yourself in at the deep end, a heart attack hill for example, both ascending or descending, then A, I'm going to end up broken, the bike's going to end up broken, and my will probably end up being broken as well, in so much that it would put me off riding off-road, and that's something that I don't want to do. So we're going to pick the next trail up now and get ourselves back into the dirty stuff, because whilst the T7 is very good on road, it is very, very good off-road, and that's what I've come to do today. Okay, so here I am just at the start of this next steady, gentle trail, and it leads me off up towards the head of the Dale, up over the Roman Road, and then I'll take the top road across back down towards West Whitton. I just wanted to stop here momentarily, not really to show you the bike, but well, kind of to show you the bike. We all like looking at bikes. but more importantly to have a look at that view. That is something else. This long line that you can see here, that is the Roman road. That's most likely the one that I'm going to come down, so I'm going to work my way up through the valley, pick the road section up to Hawes, and then I'll come down the Roman road, and then I'll pick across to Water, and then up over onto Gilbert Lane. I always think that the Yorkshire Dales or the Lake District or Scotland or wherever it is for that matter, arguably you need a little bit of a moody sky to give it that feel of presence. When you look at this, you've got big bright sections over in the valley there above Water. It's dark and moody over Hawes across to the distance, and across to the east there we can see some blue pockets of blue sky. So yeah, it looks absolutely incredible. I just wanted to stop and share that with you, and it is partly one of the main key factors as to why I absolutely love trail riding, whether it's the Yorkshire Dales or the North Yorkshire Moors. It doesn't really matter. You just got scenery like this and accessing tracks and trails through the TRF, riding responsibly, preserving green roads. Absolutely fantastic, and what a machine to do it on. A year in with the T7. Let's hope I'm here in a year's time with the T7. I can't think of a bike that I could replace it with at the moment that'll do everything that this one does, but hey ho, you never know. Let's see what 2024 brings. So let's get back on the bike and enjoy this beautiful countryside that we're in today, and it's not raining. Fantastic. Now this is a fairly inauspicious trail. We do have to be careful for just the grass and the mud. It's one of those things that can invariably catch you out, and invariably it does catch you out. The bike just needs to get off camber onto the mud, and before you know it, your front wheel's washed out and down. We've had an awful lot of rain of late, which has given us massive amounts of standing water. All of the rivers are full, and as we saw there on Thorsby Lane, just incredibly low traction and adhesion levels. Now there is good reason that I'm doing these trails today, and that is partially because I'm on my own, and I don't really fancy anything too gnarly. I'll leave that for when I'm riding with buddies. But as I said there in the opener, I have been man down for a week, so I'm not actually 100% fighting fit just yet. We are still, got a bit of ice in there still. We are still battling a little bit of, oh, bogged down there, we're in third. A little bit of man flu. And as we all know, there is nothing worse on the face of the planet than a dose of man flu. Yeah, quite a lot of ice. That is indicative of how cold it actually is. And that pretty much sees us coming to the end of this trail. We'll pick the road sections up, and I'm going to head my way over to Hawes, up to the top, and then I'm going to come down the Roman road, and hopefully that rain cloud that I'm looking at will have passed by then. One thing that's good about this road, or this trail, is it's got this incredibly steep drop. Bam bam. You won't pick that up on the GoPro obviously, but that is like ridiculously steep descent. What a view. Fantastic. Yorkshire Dales, you never ever fail to please, and today, even on a bit of a murky day, wow, all that diesel on the road. Don't know whether you can see that. Look at all of the patterns and the colours. Bit of a fuel spillage there. Yes, even on a day like today, you never cease to deliver. Smiles for miles, as Hippodrome's Pete would say. So I hope you can see sufficiently for the rain on the lens. Let me just give it a clear, that hopefully won't be too smudgy. Yes, so one thing I do like about the T7 a year in is how incredibly comfortable the bike is. You know, here we are, 6th gear, 50 miles an hour. It'd quite happily waft along at 90 if you wanted it to, but on the wet on 50/50 tyres, I'm quite happily just pootling along as I am on my own on this glorious day. And in this guise, and let's call it winter guise for want of a better word, I've got my handlebar pogies on, heated grips are on, and I'm still riding with summer gloves. Can you believe that? And the only wind chill really is the back of your hands. You slip your hands into these bad boys and you feel that heat welling up from the heated grips. Man alive, not once today, even across those icy sections, have I had cold hands. Yes, so arguably you could be anywhere now. You could be in the top side of Scotland, riding along Sutherland with all your luggage on the back and a tent. Well, you probably want to be B&Bing tonight, to be fair, with the weather that we've got, but that aside, yes, this is a very capable bike for this kind of thing. We all know the off-road capabilities of the T7, of course we do, in far more superior hands than mine. Just have a look at the Pull Terrace videos, that'll show you. But that said, that isn't really indicative or realistic, I feel personally. I generally think that the bikes that Pull is riding are absolutely 100% not stock bikes. This one is, save for the tyres and the end can, and a few of the twiddly bits that I put on there just in terms of outright protection. But yeah, I absolutely love this bike. It just eats the miles away. Tank range, incidentally, while we're talking about eating the miles, depending how you're riding, if I'm riding off-road, I get around about 130 to 150 miles per tank. If I'm riding on-road or more road orientated, then I can push that up towards 180. I've never gone past 180. I dare say you might be able to squeeze 200, but this isn't the world raid. This is the standard T7 with a 16 litre tank. So personally, I think that is very good indeed, especially with the off-road capabilities, given that you spend the majority of your time in second and third gear. Lots of harder acceleration, lots of pulling and lots of wheel spin. So 150 miles, 130 miles, that's more than adequate for where we live. We're not going across the Namibian desert, we're riding in the beautiful Yorkshire Dales and the North Yorkshire moors. So I feel a refreshment break coming along now. I'm going to get pulled up at a trail somewhere and break out the flask and a bit of food, and yeah, all is well with the world. Very well indeed. Okay, so this is the quaint little market town of Hawes. As we all know, I come through here quite a lot, but one thing I don't normally do is I don't normally stop on top of the bridge here and just have a look over at Galebeck. I tell you what, let's just get pulled up here a second, because this is worth you guys being able to see this, that is for sure. We normally just zip straight over here, we're not going to stay, but yeah, this is Galebeck. Look at that, absolutely amazing. And to see this in full flood is incredible. The water just tanks over the top of here underneath the bridge. It's a one-way system here, so we're okay just to leave the bike for a second and disappears off down here. Just incredible. We will see this a little bit later on, just Galebeck. We follow it further up the trail here as we disappear off up towards the top and pick our trail up. Yeah, just wanted to share that with you. It's particularly pretty. North Yorkshire and the Yorkshire Dales are famed for their waterfalls. Not as grand as Scotland, but they are still very good nonetheless. And of course, what a lot of people don't realise that are not from the area is once you get through Hawes and out the back of Hawes past the creamery, you come to the sleepy little hamlet of Gale, and this is where we cross once again the Galebeck that cascades down there over to one side and tumbles its way down towards Hawes. It really is an absolutely splendid part of the world. A very definitely one that is quite often overlooked. And that's the beauty of trail riding, is it does take you into these little tiny out the way places. Let's have a closer look at the water here. I mean, just look how fantastic that is. Just incredible. Just stepping its way down to Hawes at the bottom. Yeah, just incredible. Just an amazing part of the world. Okay then, so here we are at the start of the Roman Road. We climb up to the top and then drop down. That's all stuff that we're going to see in a minute. This takes us down towards Gale, and what a beautiful wild place that we've got. I don't know whether you can actually pick this up or not. Let's see if we can look at something dark. But this is actually sleet. It's not really snow, but yeah, this is sleet that's fallen, and that is definitely indicative of how chilly it is. But am I cold? Not at all. Summer gloves, lots and lots of layers. You could call me Onion Boy today, but yeah, this is just an incredible part of the world to be in, and when there's such light winds that we've got today, man alive, this is just magical. And this is the Roman Road there, as you've just seen us riding up the trail. It is quite sleety and icy in the air, so that's a little bit stingy on the old eyes, and the puddles have got quite a bit of ice scattered either side of them, so just got to tread a little carefully as we go. The worst thing is how stingy on the eyes. Stingy, is that a word? How stingy it actually is on your eyes, just with the ice. The water's not too much of a drama. Doesn't make the limestone a little bit slippy, mind, but hey-ho. Yeah, it's just how stingy that ice is on your eyes. A bit too wet to have the visor down, and a bit too stingy to have it up, so there is actually no halfway house with this one. But it's a brilliant trail nonetheless. And okay, yes, it's a straight line pretty much, but it's quite an interesting trail, and it's a nice one to do yourself as a little bit of a New Year opener. Right, okay, so quick battery change there. Yeah, have a look at those there. These are keeping all of the sleet and snow off my hands bone dry. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so as I was saying there, this is indeed the Roman road. It's a fantastic road, and what is nice, given the fact that we are just bouncing around 3 degrees at the moment, is once you start yucking and revving about and kind of heaving this 200 kilo bike about, very quickly you get very, very warm. And I must admit, I am absolutely baking boiling warm, to the point that even the pin lock is steaming up. Partly because there's not a lot of airflow, but it's also partly because I am baking. So yes, we're just dropping down off the tops now. Let's get ourselves over here. Just dropping down off the tops now, and we can see that level of cloud cover that we've got, and right across to the valley there. Hopefully you can see that for the rain on the lens. There's been quite a bit of regrading going on this track of late, which is quite welcome. So yeah, we've basically now got a straight line drop down towards the road section. We're not going to do the entirety of this road, because I do want to go over the tops of Gilbert Lane and drop down off the front end. I have rather optimistically got the drone with me, but yeah, I'm not sure the showers are going to hold off long enough. We may get the drone up when we get a bit of a comfort break in later on, let's see. But for the time being, we're going to enjoy the challenges of the Roman road. What a beautiful part of the world. Oh, it's nice to lose that mist. At least we'll lose that stinging in the eyes, and that just enables us to get a little bit more pace under the wheels without having pins driving into your eyes all the time. Utterly stunning. I am so glad I came out today. I know I've said this time and time again, but this really is the beauty of trail riding. If you were of a sports bike ilk only, you'd be sat in the garage looking at your bike now, willing and yearning to go out. But on a trail bike, wow, you can just get out and enjoy this countryside. Wow, look at that, that's an owl. An owl in front of me there, superb. Dare say the camera probably didn't pick that up, it would have been uber tiny on screen. But yeah, that's just amazing. And what is more amazing are these handlebar pokies. I cannot believe how warm my hands have been today. I am not taking these off till it gets to the summer now, I tell you. So that's pretty much me down towards the bottom. I've got a little bit of road work to do, and then up and over the tops again, back into the snow line no doubt, and Gilbert Lane indeed. Now I'm sure you can see by just the way that I'm breathing, just generally how cold it is today. 3 degrees, we're in the ice level now, just on that ice band, and we're just about to start our last trail. And thankfully, just having a look around us, it appears that we've got a break in the sunshine. So I'm hoping, just fingers crossed, I may be able to close this video out with some drone footage right across the tops. Let's have a look and let's see. Now, let's dispatch with mirror cam, because we're going to be stood up, so we don't want that just being a belly cam, especially not in January, not when we're trying to lose that festive spread. Now the interesting thing about any trails really is these are very familiar trails to me and very familiar trails to you guys as well, I am quite sure. But what mixes it up, and mixes it up quite a lot, is running familiar trails in the opposite direction. Different times of year obviously give you different weather conditions, different surface conditions, but I find the biggest mixer is basically running the trails the opposite direction that you would ordinarily run them, or that you're most familiar with, and it does give quite a different slant and a different flavour to the trail. So we should get some very dramatic skylines and skyscape as we come around this corner here, because we've got that brokenness within the weather now. We've got low-lying cloud just clinging to the fell sides and clear blue specks of sky dotted in between, and that should give us quite a good relief of land. There we are, another fellow walker there. Just back the pace down and let him know that we've seen him. Shared spaces and all, very important, and he's got a dog with him as well. Afternoon, thank you. Wow, look at that. Just, it's so, you know, it's too easy just to go blasting on a path like this and just miss all of that and not really take it in because you got eyes out on stalks concentrating on the track. For me, trail riding is just as much the scenery as it is manhandling the bike across the terrain, and I really enjoy that aspect just as much as I enjoy manhandling the bike across the terrain as well. So yeah, a good healthy mixture of both. Look at that blue sky, it's fantastic. It's kept the best till last. So I'm going to get up to the top here and break the flask out and a little bit of sugar boost pan of chocolat today. What has been nice today is I've pretty much had the day to myself. There's been a couple of TRF guys as you've seen earlier in the video there, but once we kind of passed that 2 o'clock in the afternoon mark, I guess we're into a waning daylight as well. Oh, this was always a dip. Yes, it is still a little bit. Yeah, just into waning daylight there, and I would imagine the majority of people now will be either homebound or already at home. Well then folks, I'm going to end the video here. If you have stuck with me to the end, then thank you very much for your company as always. You can see from the drone there that I am high up in the national park. We're just breaking into a little bit of sunlight, just trying to burn through this mist, but it has been a fantastic day on the T7, first of 2024 and the first of many, I am quite sure indeed. Will I have this bike in another year's time? I'm pretty damn sure I will, to be fair. It has been an absolutely amazing bike. It's served me very well and it continues to do so as well. So I'm going to break the flask out now. I'm going to have a little bit of a refreshment before I head off the top and down the stunning Gilbert Lane. So as I say, if you stuck with me to the end, then thank you very much for your company as always. Wherever you are in the world guys, I hope you have a fantastic 24 both on the bike and off the bike. And if you haven't done so already, then please hit that subscribe button. It does wonders for the YouTube algorithms and it also does wonders for the channel. So wherever you are in the world guys, whatever you're doing, keep it safe, keep it shiny side up, and we will catch you for the next one. Cheers folks, bye now, bye. Look at that, the sun's coming out as well. Superb. So if you're stuck with the video so far, this is a little bit of bonus material for you. I thought we were done and dusted, but wow, the low-lying sun has just broken through that mist as I'm tumbling off the tops here, pretty much on my final trail, and I just had to share this view with you just as the light, this yellow amber light, is just scattered across the valley side. Just incredible on a different level. Absolutely amazing. What a beautiful place.